virtual art show. This is our first time trying this out. We'll see how it goes. You have to bear along with us if we have a few technical glitches along the way, although a couple of us have used this program before, so hopefully we can figure it out without too much trouble. So before we start, I do have a couple of things I want to indicate. First of all, I want to thank our sponsors, Materials Magazine, who's helped us out in promoting things, and also, whoops, get the right way here, Dayton Buy Local, which is, of course, the organization that I work for. So there are two sponsors that are helping us out today to get the word out, to spread it to everyone, to try this out. Both of these organizations are very supportive of artists, and so I thought that was appropriate that they were willing to help us out today in our efforts here. Each of the artists that we have are in the Madison area, so delivery should not be a problem today. In the future, when we do this, I'm planning on expanding this, so then we'll have to deal with delivery issues down the road. But for today, everyone's here, so delivery should be fairly easy as far as making arrangements for that. So we have 5 artists that are joining us, including the categories of painting, photography, mixed media, jewelry, and handmade soap. So each of the participants will have 10 minutes to talk about themselves and then to show you the items that they're displaying today. If you have any questions, if you could just type it into the chat box, and Julie is watching the chat box, she'll pipe up here and ask the question on your behalf. So if you're not one of the participants, one of the participating artists, I ask that you mute yourself at this point so that we don't have any background noise taking place to cut that down. So we'd appreciate that. And we are recording this so that we can post it in the ArtWorks Facebook page right after this program. So if you see something that you like, you can go back and look at it again, or you can tell your friends and spread the word. They can watch it and order something down the road as long as the piece is still available, and spread the word that way. Of course, invite your friends now to join. There's plenty of room. We can have 10,000 people attend this video right now. I would be very pleased if we maxed out with 10,000 people. I kind of doubt we will. So with that, do any of the artists have any last minute questions before we begin?
No questions.
All right, with that, we're going to start with our first artist. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Who?
You.
Oh, sorry. My name is Allison. My business is Carnelian Soul Designs, and I specialize in antique trade beads and other bits of antiquity. So I make bracelets, necklaces, and earrings. I have today a number of bracelets to show. Some have a clasp. Some are wrap bracelets. And then the necklaces are typically hung on antique rings that are 100 years old or more that were at one time money rings made by the Yoruba tribe in Africa. The African trade beads are displayed here, as well as some imports from Tibet. I also incorporate ceramics that are made by a local ceramicist into my designs. You can see this necklace has an antique trade bead, and these have some local ceramics.
I think you got to tip your camera a little more down.
Allison, tilt your camera a little more. Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so can you see the bracelets now?
Yes.
Okay.
I can see.
These are bracelets that are made with antique trade beads. Some of them have leather. They're multiple strands. Some of them have newer metal pieces from Africa. In addition, there are some necklaces that have items including antique trade beads. This is antique sari silk and local ceramic pieces. Each of the bracelets are in the range of $50 to $65. The necklaces are typically $50 to $65 as well and have a variety of materials. So if you'd like to contact me, once again, my name is Allison of Carnelian Soul Designs. My email address is amepp followed by the number 1 @frontier.com. And my telephone number is area code 608-438-1623. Thank you.
And I'd just like to jump in here for a minute. Thanks, Allison. And mention that I am posting contact information in the chat box as each artist
you.
appears.
Great.
So Allison, why don't you show us a couple pieces individually?
Okay. Can you see this? It's better probably on a background.
Yeah.
Okay. The piece here in the middle.
Okay, you got to point your camera down.
Okay.
And to people watching, we
move my
apologize.
arm.
It's sort of a learning experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this piece, this is an antique trade bead. This is 100 years old or more. It's made in Murano, Italy, and each piece is handmade individually. And they would fill jars to put in the bottom of sailing ships to sail to Africa to trade for diamonds, gold, and for slaves. So most of this type of bead are now coming out of Africa. They are actually owned by the entire tribe, so they are not for sale in the markets. They can only be purchased as a barter system among the tribes, because the tribes don't view them as being owned by individuals. They view them as being tribal property. Each of the bracelets you see here also have antique trade beads on them.
So,
How much?
Allison, how
Yes.
do you come by those trade beads if they're owned by the tribe?
I am acquainted with a couple of purveyors who are originally from Africa, and every year, one in particular that is a good source for me, has family still in Africa, so he goes to Africa a couple of times a year and sends beads that his family has gotten from tribes. He sends them home on a ship, meets the container in New Jersey, and then literally drives around the United States, and I buy them out of the back of his van. There are a couple of other sellers of antique trade beads, but usually they have to know someone in Africa in order to acquire these.
Okay. Thank you.
And the necklaces that the necklace that you were showing us, what was the price on that? I think Allison froze on us. We'll give her a second here and see if she reconnects. Oh, there we go.
So now
Yeah.
you can see it. Okay, and then it also has a large piece of African turquoise incorporated into it. These are all antique trade beads. This one, these two, and this one.
And how much is
And
that?
Allison,
That one's 65.
okay. And the one you were showing us before with the antique trade bead, how much does that cost?
That one's also 65.
Okay, thank you.
These beads are very rare and hard to come by.
Sure.
And how about the bracelets that you were showing? What's the price on that?
55. Listen, Colin.
Oh, did I miss that?
Yeah, 55 to 65.
Okay. Okay. I think she froze up there.
Okay.
Internet connection is really key. Oh, there we go.
So these are the antique beads, this one, this one. These are also referred to as snake beads. Those are made in France. And they are interlocking to look like a snake's vertebrae. And that's why the Africans refer to them as snake beads. Can you see them?
Yep.
Yes, okay. Any other questions?
I think that you've covered a lot. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Good job, Allison.
Thank
All right.
you.
The
And
next,
I'd like to interrupt Colin for 1 minute to do a shout out for the cameo over his shoulder. In case anyone's wondering, that's Miss Kylie over there.
yeah, behind us. She got dressed just for the event.
She's missing the fact that she can go to art fairs.
Yeah, she can't be missed, right? All right. So Lindsay, handmade soap. You're next.
Hi, Colin. All right, let me get situated. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. So thank you so much, Colin, for hosting this today and putting this together. I also want to thank our sponsors, obviously, Sim Essentials. And thank you everyone who is watching. I really appreciate you wearing your invisibility cloaks today and making me slightly less nervous. As advertised, I'm Lindsay Snow. I run Craft Brewed Suds. It's a bath and body products company. I specialize in products for lovers of laughter, word nerds, and geekily inclined. What does that mean? So I like to put a lot of fun and humor into my products. A lot of it is nerd oriented, some of it is wordplay. And my scents tend towards more of the woodsy and spicy, earthy kind of area of the spectrum. There's also a lot of fresh and citrus in my products, and there's slightly less in the floral region. So today, to help me out here, I have my niece, Anna, with me. She will be playing the role of Anna White, a customer at a craft show. Hi, Anna. It's really good to see you.
I love your hat.
Well, thank you. This is Fifi.
I know.
I'm so excited I get to wear her today with all the shows being canceled. It's been really disappointing.
I've missed your turkey hats from Thanksgiving time.
She loves Sven and Hans. They all roost in the closet together.
So soap.
Yes, I have lots of soap.
Well, everywhere else is out of soap, so this is perfect. I'm so happy I found you.
And this is just a small sampling of my use. I still have a lot more soaps in the storeroom in the basement, with lots of other scents and colors and everything.
Which one is your favorite?
Yes, that's like asking me which of my hats is my favorite.
Which are your favorites?
Well, I can tell you right now, I have the Cthulhu Kicker in the shower. This is an awesome lemony orange scent. Beautiful bright spring pattern. I think when I'm done with this one, I will probably go with either the Dancing Werewolf or the Elf Snot.
I'd like to smell elf snot.
Sure, give it a sniff.
Smells just like elf snot. How did you do
Excellent.
that?
Well, I've been sworn to secrecy, I can't share.
Sworn to secrecy by who? Oh, I love it.
That is an awesome one. I like that one a lot too. It's very woodsy and earthy. Also, I will tell you that this is my best selling soap, Gay Bar soap. It's the best seller even among straight people.
It's beautiful. I love all the colors.
It does have all of the rainbow colors.
Yes.
And it's fruity scented.
I love it. It is very fruity.
People love to get that one to all the gay friends that they know.
Tell me about all your other stuff. What is all this other stuff?
There's a lot of stuff, isn't
There is a lot of stuff.
So let's start here. These are bath shots. They're a
Ooh.
lot like bath bombs, but way more puntastic.
I have a lot of time to take a bath right now, but I do not have a bathtub.
You don't have
I don't. But I'll buy them for some of my friends that have bathtubs.
because they're probably stuck at home.
Yeah,
too.
because they're stuck at home too. But what am I supposed to do with no bathtub?
I have exactly the thing for you. These are shower shots. Have you seen shower shots before?
I have not. Tell me about the shower shots.
So they're very much like bath shots, except they go in the shower, right?
Okay.
So the water will dissolve them in the shower, release scent and menthol. They all have menthol with a different scent into your shower steam. Super nice and relaxing.
Awesome. So does one of these last for one shower?
One shower shot is approximately 1 10-minute shower. If you desire a stronger effect or a longer effect, you can use more than one. 3.5.
How do you use them?
Funny you should ask. So you take one out of the bath. You remove the plastic.
Oh, okay.
You set it on the floor of the shower and you turn on the water. And it's fabulous.
Amazing. So it lets up all the scent into the steam
And
and
the menthol.
yes, I can smell that from here. I love it.
Yes, you can really feel the menthol in them as well.
I love it.
These are amazingly popular, particularly this time of year. So let's see what else we have. For your friends who like baths, we also have these. These are bubbly bath salts. They have bath salts plus bubble bath. So you get the color, you get the bubbles from the bubble bath, and you get the nice, relaxing benefit of the bath salts.
Nice.
It's amazing.
I have not seen these. What are they?
Those are shampoo bars. They are fabulous shampoo. A lot less packaging than the big plastic bottles, so we're not causing the environment too much harm. And then use them.
How do you use them?
So you take the plastic, yeah, get your hair wet, yeah,
Mhm.
and you rub the shampoo bar on your hair. Set that back down. Lather, rinse, repeat. The lather is amazing. It's really thick, very nice for your hair too. It comes out very, comes out feeling very soft when you're done. And the lather is actually so thick you can use it to shave limbs. I wouldn't recommend it for faces.
Okay.
Not quite soft enough for that. But great for limbs.
That's perfect. I love this scent. I think it's my favorite.
Which one is that?
It is called Drowned by Moonlight.
You like that one a lot.
Yes,
It really does have sort of a moonlight smell to it.
it does. This is the perfect.
It's like a cucumber melon smell technically, but we get creative with scents too.
I think you should tell me about these.
The bath shots.
Yeah. Yes. No, the sugar scrubs. Tell me about the sugar scrubs.
You know about those. You love these.
Tell me about them again because I love them so much.
Why don't you tell me about the sugar scrubs?
Wow, the sugar scrubs are amazing. And I take mine in the shower with me and I just rub it all over my whole body and it exfoliates and it makes me smell amazing.
And this happens to be your particular favorite scent, not
Yes.
today.
That's my favorite scent out of all of the scents.
It's sweet and a little dark.
I love it.
This one also has glitter.
Yes, I love the glitter too.
So what else do we have here? We've got lotion. Not everyone I was going to demonstrate off the table. Go me. But it comes in two sizes. There's a lotion stick and a lotion bar. Since we're all washing our hands a lot more, you might find you need a little lotion. The sticks are fabulous because, larger size, better value. And when they're not sealed in plastic, you can take the lid off and rub the lotion directly on your skin without getting it on your hands. That's one of my favorite features. The smaller lotion on the bar, look at this. Variety of different scents. These are great for taking with you in a pocket or a bag. And since they're solid, they won't drip on you. And unless it's 90 degrees outside, they're not going to really melt. What else do we have? Oh, we were talking about hair removal. Yeah, we mentioned that the shampoo bars are great for shaving extremities if you want, but we also have things that will help you remove hair from the face if you so desire. So we have a special shaving soap up here. It is formulated specifically to be used on faces. Very gentle. Oh, I did this a little bit earlier. The lather has come down now as the water is evaporated. You do need a bit of a brush like this to properly build the lather. Excellent shave. I have a friend who claims he has wires that grow from his face, and this is his favorite shaving soap. He's also a human who doesn't particularly care much about what is in his bathroom. This he actually cares about. If you have a human who likes to cultivate their facial hair, we also have beard curling oil and beard contouring balm. Both of them will help moisturize both the hair and the skin. And the oil in particular helps tame the beard hairs so they're not everywhere. And then the balm has some mild sculpting capability. So not crazy, but if you want just a little sculpting your facial hair, I'll do it for you. And let's see.
What are these? Tell me about these.
These are new. You probably haven't seen these before.
I have not.
So these are wax melts. So it's different than Bath and Body products. They're similar to candles, right? You don't actually light them on fire. So they come in cubes like this. You break them apart and put them in an approved device for melting wax. When you turn on the device, it will either use electricity or you can have like a small unscented tea light underneath. It will melt the wax, and the scent then can drift through your entire home. Makes it fantastic.
I love that. I love the names. Triple Troubler.
Are you a Star Trek fan?
Yes.
You're lying. It's okay.
Tell me about the Triple Troublers.
You should probably watch the show and see what the Tribbles are all about, but it's really no trouble at all. Don't worry. It's been really good seeing you today. Anna. I'm
Yes,
so
thank
glad that
you.
you stopped in.
I'm excited about all of the good scents I'm going to have. and all the soap.
So how are we
So that's important.
gonna, get you more soap since we're all stuck at home?
Online, small businesses.
That's right.
Tell me how we can support small businesses right now.
So first of all, websites and Facebook and Instagram. Find out where your favorite makers are, and buy their products if you can. I do have a website. That's probably the best way to get a hold of my products. www.craftfoodsuds.com. Feel free to ask me questions while you're shopping. Give me a call, send me a text, email, whatever. As far as supporting local makers, though, it's really important to get the word out, right? So review their products either on their website, share with your friends, review on Google or Facebook, share their posts, tell everybody personally, right? Use their things, take a picture of yourself with their things, put it on your social media accounts. It's really helpful. Right. We have
Good.
questions from the Moody folks.
Good job, Lindsay. I'm impressed. So I do have a question about your bar soap. You had mentioned to me, this was like 3 years ago, probably at Hilldale, as far as the bar soap is concerned, how to preserve it so it lasts longer. Do you remember?
Yes. So handmade soap doesn't have preservatives in it. If you let it sit in the water, it's going to melt a lot faster than a similar bar that looks like soap that you would get at the store. Those are usually called detergent bars or cleansing bars because they're technically not soap. They have extra stuff. They have the glycerin removed. So for handmade soap, you want to put it on a nice draining soap dish. Keep it out of the water. Let it dry between uses. I didn't grab a soap dish today, of course, to demonstrate. That's also very important for shampoo bars. The shampoo bars that I make are even softer than the soap. So they'll last a really long time as long as you have them on soap dish. I do have soap dishes available on the website if you need them, or if you have your own, fabulous.
Great. And give me your website one more time.
www.craftbrewedsuds.com.
There you go. Great. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it. Next is Rick. You're up. There we get Rick.
I'm here. How's it going? Hi, I'm Rick Raasch. I am the owner of Summit Art Studio, which is currently located in my bedroom. I'm bringing some different paintings today. So I work primarily with oil and cold wax, and it's kind of a layering process, lots and lots of layers in some of these paintings. Some of them will get hundreds of layers. And throughout the process, I scrape or use solvents to kind of dig down and pull some of those colors up. So I work with kind of two different things. I do a lot of abstract work, and I also do some abstract sort of atmospheric landscapes. So I'm going to show you some of these paintings. I work on, the ones I'm going to show you are on two different surfaces. They're either wood panel, or I also work on Arches paper. So let me show you what I have here to offer. I'll flip the camera around here for you. So bear with me while I switch and rotate here. So I'm going to work with my landscapes first. So this is a nice long one. This one's a 12 by 48. When I mentioned the wood panels, let me see if I can go around and show you what I'm talking about. So this one is actually on a 1.5 inch wood panel. So I just paint directly on the panels. And then I also have these little smaller guys. These are 3 by 4s, also on panels, but I have them framed out. So you can get nice and close in on the picture itself. Hopefully everyone can see that okay. So they're just simple landscapes with a lot of atmosphere. You can see I like to use the use of clouds and fog and mist and those kinds of things when I do these. And I'll keep going down here. So I take scenes from either places that I've visited or just things around here. This is a little seascape, a little lakescape. And here's a pretty recent one I did, very atmospheric. And on this bottom row here, I have a triptych that I did. Spring is hopefully coming soon. So I did what I call a prairie burn, a little triptych here. So you can kind of see, hopefully you can see that okay. And these would be sold together. So along with my landscape pieces, I also do a lot of abstract work. So I'm gonna flip the camera again for you.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay. I'm sorry about the shaky handheld camera here. So this one is quite a bit larger. This one is 30 by 40. It's also on a 2-inch panel. I'm gonna get a little closer so you can see all the texture that builds up on these pieces. Hopefully you can kind of see that. Lots and lots of layers and lots of scraping and bringing the layers underneath back out. And here's another one that is 24 by 30. Again, still quite a bit of layers going on in this one. You can kind of see some of the places where I've scraped and dug down into some of those bottom layers. And I'm gonna flip the camera one more time. Hold on, here we go. So I've really been enjoying working on these 12 by 48 panels, and these are two pretty newer ones I've done. So I did this one at a workshop down in Mineral Point about a month ago. So again, a lot of layers on this one. This was really fun to work with. These colors are a little more vibrant than I usually do, but I'm enjoying working. You can kind of see some of the areas where I've dug in and made marks by scraping, and another one that's more rust tones, a little more earthy. I have one more large one on the bottom here. This is also a bit of a newer piece. It's a 30 by 30, also on a 2-inch panel. And I mentioned working on paper. I don't know if this is going to show very well. There might be a bit of a glare. But so I have several of these smaller pieces on paper as well. I'm going to show you a shot of my bed. Apologies. So let's see if I can get this on the camera. So the paper ones, they run in price anywhere from these smaller pieces here are, they are $35, and they kind of go on up. I'm running a 20% discount on all the paintings through, if anyone hears about them from this virtual art show. So in these smaller ones here, they run $135. No, I'm sorry, $115. And these down here, these are 6 by 6s again. And then the ones that are on single panel, those are also $135. I can show you a little bit of how these look up close here. Everything is wired to hang on the back. And I sign everything on the back. Put these back up. So, and what I've done just for this show is I've actually decided to go ahead and do a, I'm gonna flip the camera again so I can talk. Oops. I decided for this show that I would go ahead and do a Squarespace site and load all these images on there. And they'll have photos of everything that I have here today and then a couple extra pieces. And so you can contact me directly through that. And after this post, I'm going to go ahead and upload that site or list that site on my Facebook page and send it out to everyone. So if you have any questions, you can get in there. And if you need maybe some close-up shots or some different shots, because some of the photos that I loaded are a little, I'm happy to send people other photos to kind of clarify things. So I think that's it. Do you have any questions?
So what's the easiest way to get started in finding your stuff? Through your Facebook page?
Sure. Well, you can go to my website. It's summitartstudio.com. Facebook is probably a little easier to navigate for me right now. My website's a hot mess. But Facebook or Instagram, or you can call me directly at 608-358-0366 or email me, summitartmail@gmail.com.
Okay, good. Do we have any other questions out there?
I did not see any questions come in.
Okay, all right, cool. Good job, Rick. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you so much.
All right, Julie, you get to go next here with your jewelry. And are you doing a little bit of photo as well?
I'll just mention the photography.
Okay, all right.
So, not sure how to pop me up here.
This is a thing I could have participated in today where they're doing a kind of a virtual art sale where they have each artist talk a little bit about themselves and their work and show their work. And then there's links. But I was like, I'd have to do too much cleanup first to try to get this all ready to go to like have a studio setting. And I didn't find out about it till 4 yesterday. I'm like, no, not enough time. So I said, well, the next time you do one, I'm in, you know, with more notice.
For
Hey,
hearing?
Jill? Hey, Jill, you're not muted, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
All right, Julie, go ahead.
And how do you get me up on screen?
So
There we go.
each needs to do that individually.
I
So,
figured it out. Hi, I'm Julie Raasch, and I do photography and jewelry. And you'll see behind me some of my photos. Don't have a photo site right now, so there's not a great place to find that. You can contact me directly if you're interested in a piece. I do print on some canvas. What you're seeing behind me are all prints on metal. I do a lot of nature and especially a lot of close-up photography. I do have currently a show hanging on Regent Street at Lamop. So if they ever lift the quarantine on hairdressers, you can go check it out. It should be there till the end of April. But if you just need a break from all the chaos going on and you just want to look at some pretty nature, check me out on Facebook at Hoverfly Studio or on Instagram at JULRAASCH. And you can just, it's free to look at the photography that's out there on my social media. So, and I can do prints on any of those. I do 8x10s. I can do 11x14s, or I can print on either metal or canvas. So that covers the photography portion. That's just there for your enjoyment and beauty for right now. The other thing I do is jewelry. I'm a jewelry artist. I'm a metalsmith. I do work sometimes with silver and brass, but I work a lot with copper. Some of my pieces are etched, but one of the things I do a lot of right now is a technique called fold forming. And what it is I take, I'm going to show you this. I take metal and I heat it up, and then I can fold it in half and hammer in a seam. And then I usually cut it out so it looks like a leaf, and then open it up. And then I use an anvil and some hammers, and I can hammer it, and I give it this ruffle and texture kind of thing. And sometimes I stop here. Sometimes I get really nice red colors that people like, and I'll stop. And other times I'll take it on to a more finishing stage where I'll add some patinas, sometimes blues and greens and that kind of thing. So that in a nutshell is how I create a lot of my pieces. And I do a lot of leaves. And these are just some examples of some basic leaves that I do. So they come in different shapes. I have some heart-shaped ones, some more traditional shaped leaves. Sometimes I hang them on a side. Sometimes I make aspen leaves, and for some reason I keep drilling holes in them like the bugs have been at them. But these are all just examples. This one's been corrugated, so it's been run through a tube wringer to give it that kind of corrugated feel. So if you look at it, you can see it kind of looks like cardboardy, but still has some shape. Each leaf is individual. They're just like nature. Everything is kind of one of a kind because they're handmade. So everyone turns out a little different. Some are a little more red. Sometimes I add a little blue patina or green patina. Right now on my bench, I have several leaves that I've made up that are all waiting to go into household chemicals, because that's what I use for the patinas. I use things like salt and vinegar and then bury it in wood shavings. Sometimes I fume them over red wine vinegar, salt, and Miracle-Gro. So that's pretty basic. These are all basic size chains, anywhere from an 18-inch to maybe a 20-inch. It really depends. They all have this little swirled clasp, you see. So this one is kind of static, but the other one's the clasp moves around on. So if it ends up in front, it can be a design element. Like you can see this one's sort of hanging a little closer to the front. So yeah, these basically, run $35 a piece. So they're really very organic, very natural, a little sort of sculpted piece of nature, shall we say, handcrafted, hand sculpted. But they're easy to wear just casually around anywhere. Sometimes when I take the leaves, my work process is I make the leaves on my workbench, then they go into a box that then comes upstairs, and I'll sit and lounge around and build things. I'll either put them on a chain, or I will do something like this. You can see sometimes I'll hang them on a partial chain with a few beads interspersed to add some color, or I will completely bead a chain. And this chain wasn't bought this way. I beaded this by hand. So each of these pieces, each of the beads is put on some wire and then looped on each side and then hung together, just to give a little difference. Sometimes I have quite a few of these. I'll do them plain, or I'll do them with a little bit of bead, or I'll hang two of them on. And these are longer necklaces. So something like this, where it's a little bit longer, can go anywhere from $45 to $65, depending on whether it's got one leaf, two leaves, what stones are on it. And these are really, really long necklaces, like they hang almost down to your navel. So that's one of the ways. Another thing I do with my fold forming technique is I do circles. And these are really just simple, easy circles. These two circles were done the exact same way with the exact same technique. The difference being that this circle was hammered along the edge. So when I completed the circle and opened it up, it opens and ruffles along the edge, versus this piece here, when it was hammered along the edge, you can see it opens in the center. So same technique, same amount of work. These can take over an hour to create all the hammering and run for about $75. Another example of fold forming that I do, a little less organic. I mean, it's still organic, but not as, it's nature inspired, but not as nature inspired as, say, the leaves, that kind of thing, or the circles. You can see that I'm wearing this, and this started out as part of an experiment after making some of those circles, which are really fun to start and fun to finish, but about in the middle, you kind of go, what was I doing? This was just a piece of copper that was laying on my bench, and I wanted to see, could I make it twist and turn in interesting ways? So I created this one as an experiment, wore it for a while, got lots of compliments. So I've made a couple of these to sell that are large. And each one's just a little bit different. They never quite twist or bend in the same way. The reds, the blacks don't always come out the same. So my process can be very organic in that respect. But not everyone likes things as big as I do. So I've also got a smaller version here, which would be about half of this. It would just hang about there. And I can't even remember how many these prices are. That one runs for about 90 bucks. This one here is just several folds. When I'm doing multiple folds on these pieces that I'm showing you, they have to be heated for each of the folds. So basically I heat it, I fold it, and then I have to heat it to get it open again. And then I hammer in the next fold and heat it again to get it open. So, this piece here has been heated several times. This one several times. This one's probably been heated for each of these folds. So about 4 times it's been heated and opened. So this is just a basic fold. It's got a little texture on it. If I turn it sideways, you can kind of see a little bit how the light plays off and the texture plays off these things. This one's 65 and this one would be 80. And then I think we have a few more. This is another kind of experimental piece. It hangs down a little bit longer, a little bit bigger, but it's got some gorgeous like reds and that kind of thing. And if you hold it, these are surprisingly lightweight. When I'm at a show, people pick these up and can't believe how lightweight these are hanging on your neck. Anything with a stone is going to be heavier, and I sometimes do work with stones, but this piece here, you can see kind of the gorgeous reds that came out of this one. Something like this would run for about 95. And then I'm just going to show you one of my art pieces. This is based on a piece that I won a competition with, and I didn't want to give up the original. So this is multiple folded. You can see the cuff is folded across in various ways. And then these pieces are all created here, and these are all soldered together. And then this is an art bead that I picked up from an artist that was hand blown. And this piece would go for $375. But it is a big statement piece, and not everyone can wear big statement pieces. So I do have smaller cuffs. And because if you're wearing a necklace, you got to have those earrings to match. I do have various different earrings that I make. I've got just regular basic leaf earrings that are copper. And these are about 45. I've got some that I've made that are just triangles. They're kind of diamond shaped, so they've got the folds. They're kind of dangling around here. So they've got some good swing when you wear them. You can see the folds in them. And then this is just some rutilated quartz stones there. And so they would hang down probably about as long as what I'm wearing now. And they run for about 50. And then something like this is just a hammered copper, and I know they're swinging a lot, so I apologize. It's just a hammered textured copper, and you can see a little bit of that texture in there with just a checked glass stone and some other beads on there, and these run about 35. And they come in different stones and different patterns. So that's about what I have to show you today. I know it was quick, hopefully not too overwhelming. I recently put up a new site, so I do have 2 sites out there. The new one is astithajewelry.com, and that will have a lot of the copper pieces on, and I'm continuing to put new pieces up regularly. Not all these pieces may be up there, so if you see something and you want it, just let me know and I'll set it aside for you. The other one is an Etsy site, and the link is up here. So it's Etsy, it's Astitha, etsy.shop, etsy.com/shop Astitha, and that has some of my older work on it. So I hope you get a chance to check it out. Any questions?
Mention about your photography too, if you would, just real quickly.
Yes. Okay, so the photography, once again, can be found at Hoverfly Studio on Facebook and JUL Raasch on Instagram. So it's JUL Raasch on Instagram, where I just have my photography. And if you're interested in purchasing any of that, you can just let me know and we can talk about details from there.
You're multi-talented with all these different areas that you work in art.
Thanks, Colin.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Colin, I actually think of it as a good balanced life, because the photography gets me out in nature.
There you go.
And I'm, looking around and sort of gets me away from all the computer stuff. But then I come back to the computer and process it. And then the jewelry is completely analog. I'm down on the bench, hammering, working with tools with my hands, not any technology involved. So just gives me more rounding. That's all.
There you go. There you go. Good, good. Good job. Good job. All right. So now we have Michael, who's standing behind me. So Michael, we'll put you up front here with Kylie. And you got to stand over here. And I can't get you to come up on the screen. Hold on a minute. There we go.
We know he's not wearing shoes now.
Kylie, yeah, I'm not wearing shoes. All right. So Miss Kylie, as many of you know, joins us at the art shows. Yeah, so tell us who you are and who you're with.
I'm Michael Anderson. I'm with Different by Design.
And tell us a little bit about how you put your work together.
I do a mixed media, 2-dimensional art. Mixed media meaning that I use several different types of products like glass or metal, paper, and everything is dimensionalized. I don't like flat.
Okay, all right, great. So what pieces do we have today?
Okay, this piece right here, do you have it in?
Yep.
This piece right here is acrylic paint I've done it with, and the flowers are all done with handmade paper or materials in it.
And what are the flowers made out of?
Flowers are made out of paper and material.
Okay.
So some are made out of handmade paper. The blue flowers are all done out of material. The leaves are all done out of material.
And what about the bicycle?
The bicycle itself is actually, the spokes are done out of metal.
It's wire, yeah.
Wire, metal, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the size of the piece?
This is approximately a 24 by 24.
Okay. What's the price on that?
Price on that one is $295.
And are you offering a special today?
We're doing 20% off, yeah.
On any of these pieces?
Any of the pieces.
Okay. All right, great. So let's go to the next piece here.
This next piece is actually, I call it my field of flowers here. This piece is done out of acrylic. I've actually incorporated dried stems of wheat in it. And then the flowers are all done out of handmade paper. This one is also 24 by 24.
Okay, and the price on that one?
Price on this one is $295 also.
Okay, all right, great. And then you have an abstract piece here.
I do a little bit of everything, so I don't just stick with one type of, one idea. This one is actually an abstract one. This one's done on canvas. This one is done with metal and glass. So I'm painted with acrylic on the back. Has some gold leafing done in it. This one is about a 30 by 30.
So the round piece is, what is that actually?
This is actually metal. This
That's-
is all done in metal.
That's metal.
Yeah.
And then the glass is what?
The
Yeah.
glass is glass.
Yeah, but which piece of, which section of it is glass? I guess what I'm trying to say.
This is glass.
There we
this is
go.
Glass. And
Okay,
pieces that stand
All right.
out are glass there.
yeah, it's hard to see on the screen here.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
and what's the price on that one?
This one runs $295 also.
And the one thing to mention is that it's unframed
Right.
that
This is on canvas.
on canvas.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, cool. So it's sitting on an easel right now.
Correct. yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry, what was the price?
$295.
You seem to have a consistent price there between the.
That makes it easy.
Oh, okay, all right, and then 20% off any of those. Okay, so where are we going next here?
Okay, we're gonna go over here.
Okay, all right, so let me turn this around. I think you're gonna have to pull the top one off because I'm getting the,
Oh, you're gonna.
that, we're in the dining room, so there we go. Okay, so tell us about this piece.
This piece is all done out of handmade paper. It's got metal in it, wood in it. This piece is 12 by 12.
Okay.
Um,
And
These-
what's the base?
Face is done out of wood.
Just wood, okay.
Yeah. I like to repurpose a lot of things. So for instance, the large abstract piece you just saw, that's all done out of repurposed materials. The glass is actually from a remodel project along with the metal pieces.
Okay,
So I like to incorporate things that you would not normally find in a piece of art. Makes it a little more unique and different.
there you go.
Gives
Okay,
it a story.
all right. So
Can you
why
get
don't
me
you,
that?
I think we're gonna have to go over to the other side here. So yeah, just take it off and bring it over here. There's a lot of glare over there. Sorry, guys. Okay. Oh, I'm still getting glare. Turn it. There we go. There we go. Okay, go ahead.
This one is also 12 by 12. It's done out of handmade paper. The flowers are all done. Wire in there. The vase on this particular one is done out of flooring, vinyl flooring.
Vinyl flooring. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. This one is also 12 by 12, and these run at 95.
95 and then 20% off.
Correct. These I have in several different colors, so
Okay.
I
So if
probably have
somebody
8
wanted,
or 10 colors.
okay, all right. So if somebody wanted a different color, they could
Yep.
request that.
Yeah.
All right.
And Peg Anderson wanted to remind everyone that Michael's beautiful work can be found at Rose Cottage Florals and Gifts in DeForest,
Yeah, yeah,
which
we
is
do.
actually still open. So you can
Yeah,
see his work in
they are.
person.
Amazing. Somebody's still open.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. What's this piece?
Okay, this is an 8 by 8. This is also done out of all handmade paper. It's got wire in it. The vase is done out of glass tiles. And of course, these come in different colors also. These run at 59.
59.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have one more color I'll show you,
One more color. Okay.
just as an example. But like I say, it's all done out of
We gotta get
paper
a
and glass,
glare here. Okay.
paper and glass and wire. All dimensional, of course.
What color is that?
It's more like a
Kind of a tealy blue color?
green. Yeah, green.
Yeah,
Green.
Yeah. Tealy green? Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, what was the base?
Base is done out of glass tiles,
Mhm.
mosaic tiles.
And it's 8 by 8.
8 by 8. And they run at 59.
59. Okay,
Mhm.
great. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so a few different things to take a look at there. Okay, good.
And Lori says she really loves the abstract. So can we take a peek
Cool.
at the abstract one more time?
Oh, sure,
Sure.
sure. Why don't you,
Here, I'll hold it.
he'll take it off the easel here. We go back up a little bit. There we go. So it's metal and glass and acrylic paint. So, okay, great. Any other questions out there?
Didn't have any- Nope. Anybody got any questions they want to type in quick?
While you're doing that, you can really ask questions about any of the 5 artists that we have. If you have any questions there, this is your chance. So those are our 5 artists that we're highlighting today. I might just mention, as far as we're concerned, for Different by Design, we have free delivery in the Madison, Dane County area. So if you live in Mount Horeb or Verona or Wanakee or whatever the case might be, we'll deliver it right to your doorstep. We'll make arrangements ahead of time to put it in a safe location. And then when we get there, we will send you a text message and telling you that we're dropping it off in the pre-determined location so that you can find it. So you don't have to have interaction with anybody. It's nice and safe. We're calling it text and drop. So we'll drop it off and text a message to you all at the same time. And if you're outside of the Madison, Dane County area, we can work that out as well. So don't be shy if that's something that you're thinking about outside the area. That's perfectly fine. We can work that out. All right. So for any of our artists, any last thoughts, any comments that you have?
I'd like to mention too that I did get a note from UPS the other day that said that they are considered essential to the economy right now. So 50 states have, governors in 50 states have mentioned that they are essential. So they are planning on continuing to keep running. I believe the same for the US Post Office said they're planning on running. So, you know, even if you just want us to ship something, I'm sure it can be shipped as well as dropped off.
Cool. It is crazy. Every piece of our life has totally changed for everybody each week. So all these things that you don't really even think about, you know, the mail, now sudden is a big issue. And how does that work? So,
and as far as I've heard, all the mail is considered essential, so it will keep working.
Yeah. So those of you that have been checking out the video today, thank you for joining us. Let us know what you think, either in the chat here, or you can send a message to me through ArtWorks on our Facebook page. ArtWorks Wisconsin is our page on Facebook. That's the easiest way to reach. I know we do have a couple of artists that are watching us. If you would like to do this next time, let me know. I'll let you know the arrangements and we can go from there. We are planning our next show for Wednesday evening, March 25th. So that's this coming Wednesday at 7 p.m. So for any of the artists that are interested, contact me. I will be putting up mass email my list of 600 artists, letting them know that this is available. Most of them are either in Wisconsin or Illinois, the vast majority of them. So that's this coming Wednesday, March 25th at 7 p.m. For the rest of you, feel free to join us. We'll have a new batch of artists that we'll be featuring. I did have a fair amount of interest this time. We put this together pretty quick, and each of the artists that you saw today had less than 48 hours to plan this all out. So you guys did a really good job. I'm impressed. So that you can certainly spread the word and let's get other people involved to help support our artists out there. You know, art is so important to everything that we do in our lives, and it's just a matter of supporting each other and keep the economy going best we can during this time. So thank you for your efforts on that. Thank you for joining us today. If I can have the artists stay online here just for a couple minutes for a little bit of feedback, I would appreciate it.
Yep. Can I add one more thing? Is there a place where, I know you're recording this, can they rewatch this if they want to catch up with something? And we talked about putting the artist's contact information somewhere, be it Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, so it'll be on our Facebook page for ArtWorks Wisconsin. That's how you'll find the recording and a list of all of the artists that were featured today. So ArtWorks Wisconsin, just do a search on Facebook and it'll come up. If you have trouble with that, contact me. I should have mentioned our sponsors again too, Dane by Local and Madison Essential Magazines. Both of those are sponsoring us today, helping us get the word out there. Thank you everyone for joining us. Bye.